Welcome back to Vocab Prescription, where I teach you simple words, phrases, and idioms to use in day-to-day conversation and make you sound smarter. Today we're covering "That's a tough act to follow." The definition of a hard act to follow is someone or something that's been so successful that it is very difficult for the person or thing coming next to be as good. In my opinion, this is a pretty hard idiom to implement into day-to-day situation. However, it gets an 8 out of 10 decimal point for me, as once it is utilized in the correct way, it almost always gets a good reaction from people. This is one of those idioms I like to use to praise or compliment people with. Not just in English, but in life we are constantly trying to find ways to compliment people. However, we do not want to sound insincere or at worst patronizing. I find that this statement helped me to achieve that balance really well, as it is a very indirect way of praising someone or something. For example, if you were to just say, "Hey Jane, that was a good presentation," it lacks the punch, it lacks the creativity. From Jane's perspective, she might think you're just trying to be polite, which is why this statement is such a powerful weapon in my vocabulary toolkit. It's also a very easy idiom to whip out due to how natural it is to say it. If used correctly, people have often shown good reactions to the usage of the idiom, as it is not something that is commonly used. Since most sentences formed with this statement involve a form of praise, it mostly will garner positive energy, which the speaker can easily capitalize. The drawbacks are that this is a very non-versatile phrase. You almost always have to use this in a sequential event. Note, if you are planning to use this as a compliment, you must accompany it with appropriate tone and body language. If not, you may seem sarcastic to the listener and make your compliment sound patronizing, which is something that we all want to avoid. Let's go through some context. The first context is the pure commentary, where you and the listener are just talking about a third party. This is great if you can find a situation for it to flex some of your idiom muscles. The second context is the one I highly recommend all of you to pick up. It's for giving compliments. The first is just telling the listener you are very impressed with him. The second is telling the listener you are very impressed with a third party, where the third party is very close with the listener. So for example, the third party may be the listener's spouse, children, or friend. This is great to use as you are sharing something positive about someone who is very close with the listener. You can almost count on the listener to put in good words for you when they get back together. Move on to the examples now. For the first example, the background is that you and your gaming buddy are discussing the Dota esports scene. The mission is you want to flex your vocab skills you learn on Vocab Haven to complement the grand finals at TI3. So this is a familiar situation that occurs fairly often. We are always going to find ourselves having small talk here and there. And one of those common topics are sports. So if you are someone you want to impress, you can always whip this idiom up. And I find it is very easy to use this idiom with sports. So in this example, we can say, TI3 grand finals between Navi and Alliance was so hyped, it was always going to be a tough act to follow. In the next example, Jane just gave her opening presentation. Your mission is to compliment her without sounding insincere or patronizing. This scenario requires finesse to handle, especially if you do not know the person we are going to be complimenting very well, as they might misconstrue our well-intentioned praise as a polite or demeaning gesture. Thus, we can use this idiom to disarm that thought and give a compliment indirectly. So in this case, we can say to Jane, "That was an excellent opening presentation, Jane. Talk about a tough act to follow." Depending on your delivering, we may get a lukewarm response or a warm reply. As mentioned, body language and tone plays a very important role here. In a third and final example, Jack, your superior, has recently contracted a deadly virus. He is forced to step down. You are now talking to his wife. Your mission is you want to console her and make her feel better by complimenting her husband. So in this example, will show that you can use this idiom to compliment someone close to the listener. So you can say, "Your husband was an excellent leader. He will be a tough act to follow." So after hearing that, Jill will not only feel better, but she might also pass along your compliment to Jack. As a result, you make two people feel good, just like that. To recap, this idiom is pretty hard to use. You have to look hard to find situations for it. Secondly, you must level up your tone and body language game to accompany this idiom if you are planning to use it to compliment someone. Lastly, Knowing how to praise or compliment someone is an important social skill that everyone needs to learn. This could be one of your best ally in honing this important skill. And with that, we have come to the end of this vocab prescription. Let me know in the comment section below whether that's a tough act to follow is as useful to you as it is to me. Please share and subscribe if you find this video useful, and hit the notification bell to stay up to date with the newest vocab prescription. Goodbye!